Okay. Okay. So everybody was able to log into Jira. Okay. Was it okay with everybody? Mackenzie, you're okay with Jira logging in?
Yes.
Cool, cool, cool. So all right, let me I might as well share my screen. Okay. Okay. Here I am here. So I just wrote a whole bunch of issues in the backlog. So as we kind of talked about at the very, very beginning, first meeting, second meeting. So Jira is kind of one of the more popular tools to kind of track project progress. It's not the only tool, but it's one of the more popular ones. We were kind of attempting to use GitHub projects, but I was thinking like since like there's a repo for the front end and the back end, but yet the progress we have to do is going to basically incorporate both front end and back end. It didn't make sense to have two separate project boards because they're so intertwined now. I figured, well, what other tool can we use that we could just centralize it? So Jira came to mind. So I had Dan create an account for everybody, and we'll just use that for putting all our tasks that we will work on, that we want to work on, that we will eventually work on, however that may work out. So I kind of wrote a whole bunch, some that we have done already, some that we talked about, some that maybe we didn't, or the ones that just came to mind. So each one of these is called from a, what you call it? From a, I think it comes from UX, called a user story. So there's usually like a specific format. For our purposes, it doesn't matter too much, but I try to make it in a very common format that is used kind of generically. And also I always forget sometimes like what is the user who's requesting this. So each one of these issues you could say is like a feature or part of a feature. So I always forget like, well, who was it for? Is it for a user? Is it for a developer? Sometimes they're intertwined. I didn't really think about too much at the time, but basically it'll be like as a somebody. That somebody could be the person who's developing it, the person who's administrating it, the person who's using it, or another user. It's basically when you first think of the ideas for a project, you think of, well, what are the users, the type of users? And each user has their own kind of background and so forth. This is kind of pre-working on a project, the planning stage. But usually it's in like these 2 or 3 different personas as far as like as a user, as a developer, as maybe an admin, maybe. So first one I just thought of, I want people to play a game immediately. So that's one, oops, get away from here. Why is this on here? Okay, so as a user, I want to be able to play a game immediately. So that's really basically part of something bigger. I just maybe I made it smaller. So as a user, so basically this is part of one of our initial landing pages, right? So we thought of, when you first come to, and also based upon our Figma designs as well, when you first come to the app, you'll get options, right? So you get an option to play immediately, meaning you just type in your username and you go right to the lobby, right? Where you're waiting to see all the rooms that are available or creating a room. So that's kind of like part of that. As a user, I want to be able to log in and check my game history. That's what we also talked about. So if we want users to log in, we would try to have that authentication that Abu was working on with the actual routes, and then storing that information, that user information in Mongo, right? And then have a place to where the user can see it, right? So again, I didn't finish all the details of all these. I just wrote them very quickly sometime today. As a user, I'm able to invite my friends. This is something we kind of sort of talked about, So, somehow, and this is probably something maybe like an optional. I'm not sure how you would do it off the top of my head, but I'm sure maybe, Mauricio or Alejandro could figure it out. But where you get a link, once you're into a room, you get some sort of link where you can invite to somebody, right? This is probably going to be something that's going to be after MVP, after we're done, but something that'd be kind of cool to have. So as you're reading these, I'm not gonna go through every one, like think of like, okay, that's cool, let me add some descriptions on this, or let me add other ones that aren't in here. Things that we have talked about that I didn't mention here. And I'll be going through this later on and adding some more detail, but I wanted to have this as a starting place, as the essential location of all the tasks that wanted you to either have worked on or will work on. Yes, Brett.
Yeah, just a kind of learning
Nope, I think
question.
you're muted, or I don't hear
Oh,
you.
can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yes,
Okay.
now I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, just a sort of learning question. I know that the issues when we were using GitHub project, they're worded kind of differently. Is it like for different purposes, or is it? I mean, I imagine
It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a format of how this is normally done in real projects. So you can say as a user, you can say as a whatever. It doesn't really matter for our purposes. It's just that's normally the standard format of a issue. It always starts with as a something. Now it doesn't matter for our project. I just put that in there as like a point of reference, but it really has no bearing on how you build it or anything.
Yeah, no, I was just meaning like the difference in sort of language used in the GitHub projects. Is it because they were different tasks, or is it just it was a different style of issues?
I didn't even look at the GitHub stuff we have. I just wrote these out wherever I was top of my head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just they just weren't worded as like as a user, as a developer. So
yeah, they were definitely
that's like a stylistic.
So that was just the format of a user story normally. And I just mimicked that, but it really has no bearing on how you write it or how you build this feature or anything. And it has nothing to do with the coding part. It's just kind of like how the format is normally written in real life, in real projects. That's all.
Okay, yeah. So I think the GitHub projects wasn't in that format. Is what I was saying. I was just trying to follow if that's. So this is the usual approach. Okay, thanks.
That's all. So if you haven't looked at it already, spend some time on it. If you see ones that we talked about that aren't in here, which I'm sure there definitely are, this is just a very short, short list, start adding them. So everybody has access to add stuff and modify it. So you just say either create issue, or you can basically just start typing. You say create issue. Oh, let me see here. Or can I type something in? Yeah, for some reason it gives me, yeah, so you just like delete something here. Why can't I create issue? Sorry. Can I create? I'm already in the mode. Let me see. Why can't I delete this? I'm missing something here. Create issue.
Yeah, in mine it just shows up blank when I click it. Like I just added one.
Yeah, I don't know why mine's not working, but anyway, you can just do create issue.
Yeah, I just did that to try it.
It's weird how I can't type anything in. It's weird. Anyway, I'll figure it out later. No worries now. So anything that you've already see, you can start adding new ones and or update what's already in here and add some details. So every one of these doesn't have any details to it, like descriptions and other things associated with it. So that's where basically your first task would be. It's like, okay, I'm going to work on this, or have already worked on this. Let me add some issues to that. Let me add some detail to that. So what have you done already that mimics what's there? And if it hasn't, add the issue now for it.
So I think like the very first one we've already done. That's just like the go-to button, takes you straight to like to the right page. Sorry, asking us to like mark that one as done.
Assign your name to it. So if you see something that's
Oh,
already
okay.
done, or you want to work on it, or you are working on it, you click on it, and then say assign to. There you go. Cesar Lopez. So assign yourself to it.
Oh, nice.
And again, if it's not in this list, you want to add it, add it. You know.
Well, it's interesting because some of these things did exist and were working before we combined the front and the back end versions
Correct.
of things.
So
And so-
now we're combining front and back end. So if it's something that you need a back end person for, then say, hey, I need a back end person. So that's why we're centralizing everything here as opposed to front and back end tasks.
Yeah,
It's just
no,
project tasks now.
I don't mean it quite like that though. Frank, like, so if this one, as a user, I want to play a game immediately, like let's say Ale built that in the socket version of things for the front end. And then when we combine, now that we're starting to combine it, we need to essentially kind of get it working again.
Correct.
So would we mark it off? Yet if
Those
it's
are-
on here.
well, it's marked up. So you happy here?
Right.
In progress, done. It's not done till you actually have it working in the dev branch and it works
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's still a to do. Yep.
Thanks.
So you can take this next 10 minutes and you can start looking at them, tweaking the wording, adding details, assigning yourself, or adding the new issues that aren't in here.
Right, clarification on one of them about seeing a lobby. BP7, is that a user or should that be user?
It doesn't matter. User develop, it doesn't matter. It's for, it
Don't they
it
have
doesn't make
a,
a difference whether it's it.
isn't
You
there?
would say if you would change it to
user?
user, you change user. I just put the different user story names, persona names, but it doesn't make a difference. It's all it matters is I want something to do something, and then the details, the description side of it. If you want to
Okay.
change it as a user instead, then that's totally fine. It's all
Okay.
semantics now.
Okay. Alejandro, did I just take one from you? This one, BP7, it seemed to say your name, and then I clicked it, and then it said mine. I don't know if I somehow messed something up.
I don't think so. I haven't assigned myself to anything, so
Oh, okay. I don't know what I was seeing. Thanks.
There just can be one person assigned to each one of these, so it can be more than one.
Yeah, you're gonna have multiple people assigned to this, so don't think, oh, it's just me. It's gonna be multiple people. So if I said assigned to me, oh, it takes it out. I can multiple people assigned. I can have does let me take multiple people? Maybe
I mean, is
can't.
it useful to have a lead person noted though, that they're like, the buck stops with them or they're responsible?
Yeah, I thought you could have multiple people assigned. Okay, I think there's a way of doing it. I'll have to figure out how to do it. So just have one person and then the other people can just be like, put in description of like the other people that will be working on it. So if, you know, if Brendan has to reassign for that one I took off to myself. Just put in the description, you also be working on this. So there, I know there's a way for multiple assignees, but I think there's a settings thing I have to figure out how to do.
Can I add one for like the backend team? I'm thinking of adding like as a admin, I want to keep track of the
Whatever you want,
users.
man. It's a
Wins
free
and
for all.
losses?
Whatever you want to add.
All right, we'll throw it in there.
I think Mauricio, one question for you, because I saw you put your name on one of them. For ones that we talked about in our last meeting, like me, you, Caesar, and Mackenzie, that like you had already built a backend version of. I think it could be useful because we basically assign those out already to ourselves, like BP4. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Like ones that are front end things, I think it would be that you had built a version of in the back end. I think we had sort of assigned those to ourselves already.
So
So,
I should
number-
take my name.
Yeah, so like number 4, I don't know how much it matters, but just because I'm currently working on that, for example, trying to implement a version of the code you had.
Okay, sure, you can take it.
I'll probably
I'm just gonna put I also work it there.
yeah, that's good. Appreciate it. I'll probably be calling you up anyways to get help.
Okay, so I was wrong. So in Jira, there can only be one assignee. So basically, if that's the case, since our project's unique, just put like in the description who else wants to work on it. So you can only have one assignee here. So you have, you know, I'll also work on it, you know, whoever wants to work on something else with somebody. Camera's not working now. Why? Oh, there's something in the chat, maybe. There's something in the chat. Oh, I was having merge conflicts. Did people merge any pull requests into the backend repo yet? Is that why there's a merge conflict?
Yeah,
I did.
I think I did a PR and I think Mao reviewed it and merged it.
We also
Yeah.
had a pull request merged, Mackenzie and
In
I.
the backend?
Oh, sorry,
For
no,
the-
not the backend.
Oh,
I did
any backend
two.
merges?
I approved 2 pull requests. One was just for the comments we did on Monday, Cesar. And the other was the change in the file we did with Alejandro, just erasing some files and ordering all in the background.
But that didn't have any merge conflicts though, correct?
No, it was easy.
Okay.
Like you
Can
can
so-
merge this without conflict.
Okay. Abu, what you're trying to, you mean you're getting merge conflict in dev? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I have something like dev merging, but I'm trying to run the server, but I can't, and then it's still saying that the dev branch is merging. I can share my screen later if you
Yeah.
want. You want me to share it
I
now?
unshared. I unshared if you want to share now. Yep. Mhm.
Um, So this is it. It's a dev merging, but I don't know. And if you do LS, I only have this line in the branch.
Dev merging.
Uh,
Mhm. I never saw that before.
Nope,
Um,
no work.
hmm. This is the backend repo. What branches we have?
Can you scroll up a little bit, Abu, so I can see your error message on your terminal? Yeah.
Oh, did you not do an npm install? Oh no.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you didn't do an npm install first. Yep. So every time you want to clone a repo for the first time, you'll need to do an npm install.
Oh, okay.
Can
Yeah,
you help me understand that, Frank? Because I think like we
Oh, yeah. Thank
oh,
you.
it's working.
Oh,
Nice.
now it works. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, now it's
perfect.
working. Thank you. Yeah,
Nice. I
stopped sharing. That was my issue. I trying to figure this out on my own, and I couldn't find it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
thank you.
problem.
Let me stop sharing.
What was that, Brendan?
yeah, I was just gonna ask Alejandro helped me out the other day when I had to do that, but I'm confused why I needed to do it again. Was it because so let me just a quick background. So I guess we started merging what were we doing? Well, do you remember, Alejandro, when you commented in Slack that I needed to do npm install? Is it because I hadn't had a version of the backend that was running sockets yet?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah, it said you didn't have it installed. Sometimes for me, for some reason, when I switch to a different branch even, I get that error. But yeah, it was an error saying that something wasn't installed for you.
Because can different branches in the same repo need new installs? That's a thing?
Yeah. It's weird though, like you would think it wouldn't need to, but
Yeah.
if it does, then you just npm install and it fixes it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Because you would think if you're on a branch that you just npm install and you go to a different branch, you should already have the node modules there, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Sometimes you have to still again.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. So did everybody assign themselves to at least one ticket? Again, it'll be multiple tickets and you'll be doing it as a group, but you can only have one assignee. But so then, as I said, if you see other tickets you want to work on and someone's already assigned, just say, hey, I'll help out and put your name in the description. Technically, in a real project, it doesn't work that way. But I find that kind of weird for certain, like this project, I don't know how else you would do it, but I'm sure there was workarounds. But for now, a lot of these tickets will be done by multiple people. Okay, some, with one person, but a lot will be multiple people. So again, if you see a ticket you want to work on and someone else is already assigned, just put your name in the description of that ticket and then say, hey, I'll be working with that person on it. And then if you do that, that means you can really, only one person. So if it's gonna be like 2 or 3 people working on a particular ticket, you kind of, you all 3 can't be working on their own branch. One person has to be working on that branch. The other 2 will just help each other as far as like say like every time you make some code changes, you have to group as a huddle. And so again, this project is require a lot of communication working together more than any other team's projects. So if you want to work as a group, which a lot of times you have to, because especially the sockets on the front end and the back end. So on some of these tickets, you basically have to work on both repos, the front end repo and the back end repo. So again, it's always good to have, the back end person with you on that ticket, because you probably will need some changes on the back end as well. Again, depending on that ticket, it depends, Okay, cool. So I see some new ones been added. 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, cool. So any questions on the tickets we see now that are listed?
What was that, Frank?
Any questions on the tickets that you see that I created or someone else created that you need clarification on anything? Now's your time to ask away. Now, again, some of these tickets will be working together. They're very kind of low level tickets. Again, don't have time to really make it like an epic. So an epic, like we very briefly talked about at the very beginning, is like basically, I want to have a user to be able to log in, right? That's really like too big for one ticket. So you would say that's more like an epic. And then within an epic, you have other tickets within it. So like login authentication requires a lot of pieces, right? So the first piece would be, okay, I have to create the screen. The second piece could be, I have to create, any necessary code. That could be the same ticket, it could be separate ticket. The third ticket is, I have to create the route or routes on the back end to support it. That could be a third ticket. A fourth ticket could be, okay, I need to do the Mongo stuff. Now, again, sometimes in certain teams, they'll make that all one ticket and then make that in the details. And then that's all one ticket. But if you're going to eventually cross front end to back end, usually it's multiple tickets. It's kind of rare. Again, every place is going to be different on how they manage their tasks. But usually, if it's especially crossing the front and the back end, you're going to have multiple tickets. But it would be like an epic. So it's something very general, but requires a lot of steps. And those steps, again, are kind of crossing front end and back end in our database. That's usually going to be multiple tickets. But here we're kind of making just like individual tickets, and then we'll group all these tickets together just to make it simple. And because I hadn't set up yet like that.
So
so no questions on any of these initial tickets that I created, or ones that people create at the bottom. Yes.
The number 11, it means just telling the players how many letters there are in the board.
So this is for like the gameplay, which we'll add more to. So basically, when you get to the actual gameplay, the actual game screen, right? One of the parts of what you'll see. So again, that's other tickets on the gameplay screen. One of the parts would be we'll see all the users, right? And then we'll see like the little chat box, right? And then we'll see the actual phrase that everybody has to guess on. And then as a developer, I want the game screen to see the available characters for the chosen word. Now it's it should be not chosen word, it should be for the chosen phrase, and then I want the game screen. I want as a developer, I should be as a user. Screw it, I'll just change it. I want the game screen to show turn for that, let's say turn. So again, the user chooses a phrase, and it's just basically just like Jeopardy, right? We see some way graphically, we know how many characters, and spaces in that phrase or word chosen. Just think of Jeopardy. Like I say, think of Jeopardy. I spell Jeopardy, J-E. Alejandro, don't You know how to spell Jeopardy.
I have
How do you
no
spell it?
idea. I'm so sorry.
J-E.
J-E-O. Jeopardy, I guess. Sorry.
P-A-R-D-Y, I think.
That's wrong.
I
J-E-O.
use
Jeopardy. How do
Grammarly
you
for
spell?
a reason.
Right. That's it,
J-E.
like that,
J-E-O-P-A-R-D-Y. Jeopardy.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Think of Jeopardy. Yeah.
What
Is it
is
Jeopardy or is it?
Jeopardy?
No, it's Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, right,
No,
yeah.
it's Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Wheel of Fortune. Fortune. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So you have the different, you have different spaces or however you want to graphically do it, you want to see that. Again, this could be like multiple steps in this as well. Again, this would be, also probably part of an epic. So so say game screen under the epic, and then in that, or you can make it a ticket and just have multiple steps in the ticket, or you can make it an epic game screen. So this would be one of the things in the game screen, right?
Losing you on
I
the
could
epic,
say-
Frank, where would it be documented in Epic? What would it look like? Like, would it be in Jira?
So right here, it says epic right here,
Oh,
add epic.
I
Like,
missed
if I said
that.
add epic, first choose your epic. Okay, I'll try it.
Oh, so
okay.
this kind of puts it in a bigger bucket.
Yeah, game screen, game screen, right? Yeah. So I'll say create. I've never done this before, so let's see if I can make it work. Oh, who did this?
Nice.
Did you do that?
I was
I
about
did,
to
yeah.
do that, but Caesar did.
I was like,
that.
is this magic? Is this how Jira works? No.
We were on the
Like,
same
yeah, that's
page.
good.
Caesar and I
So,
were thinking the same
game
thing. I
screen.
literally had just copied
Here we go.
that. server.
Perfect. Pretty cool.
Nice.
So game screen. So actually, let's how about we start doing it now? Let's say so. Create an issue again. Say let's create some more issues for this epic. As a user, I want.
Can you use that child functionality from there, or is that something else?
What do you mean?
You see that like tree next to like the paperclip on top of the picture? It's like child task or child task. or
Oh,
something
here you
like that.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that work?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean the issues aren't created yet, but yeah. I want the game screen to show all users that are playing. Okay, then I could say, will this work? Oh, I think it does it in. Okay, I can't do it in like the way I want to.
Oh, okay.
So as a user, okay, so then we'll say add epic game screen. Boom, another one. All right, cool.
Maybe it's like a 3-part hierarchy.
I want the
like
game
Epic.
screen. It can be as many as you want, yeah. So
Well,
as
like
a
an
user,
Epic at the top, and then a task, and then
Oh,
a
yeah.
task.
I want the game screen to show a chat box where everyone can talk in real time. Okay, so click on that one and add epic, boom, game screen. So yeah, so if you want to start doing that too and organize it with epic, so we have game screen, we'll have lobby, we would have, login, so we can start doing that too if you want.
Hey, Frank, if you
What else?
can you click BP19, the Epic? I tried it on mine. It's pretty cool view it shows you. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's handy.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, this is on here. Okay, what was that?
Is it like?
oh,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was trying to look for that. What was that screen you just showed me? What was that screen again?
Oh, when you click on one that has an Epic attached to it, then you can click it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Also, I thought there was another way of seeing it in the backlog. It probably is somewhere. Okay, cool. But yeah, so you can start doing that as well. If you want to create epics for some of these tickets. So like, if we close this one down and we say wins and losses. So you could say add epic, you could say view all epics, and then add epic. You could say user profile. Let me create that. Let me create an epic add epic. Let me do. I don't want this. I want not view. I want me add a parent issue for this issue.
Yeah, what I was saying, if you hover over the issue line, there's a little something that also shows up there that says add epic, like on the left section of the screen. Like if you hover over.
here you mean?
No, right
Oh.
there. Yeah, you see where it says epic?
Oh.
I mean, you'd think where it says add epic, you could actually do it, but maybe
Kind of
it's
weird. As a user, we would just where was it again? Okay, yeah. So here's the. Oh, I lost it. Where'd the add epic button go?
Do you have to go over a little bit?
Oh, here it is. Oh, you only see it when this is. That's weird. Yeah. But yeah, it won't show me a way to add an epic though. Like it doesn't give me a screen. That's weird. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll have to do it right now. But yeah, so view all epics. Yeah, can't
Maybe a
add anything.
free version limit or something, maybe.
Why can't I do epic panel? Oh, here we go. Yeah, epic, create epic. Okay, so here we have, perfect.
Nice.
We have user profile screen, right? Perfect. And then we have, what else? We'll have lobby screen. Good. And then we have, just say login, right? And then what else we have? We could say just gameplay, right? And then what else do you think we have? What other major parts? We have we have the landing screen, right? So you come in, what do you do? What can you do? So landing screen, lobby screen, game screen, gameplay are kind of separate, right? User profile screen. Yeah. Okay. So now you can kind of put these together at some point and kind of organize it. Okay. Cool. So that's the gist of what we will be doing. Organizing this, put it in category, put it under epics. If we need new epic, we'll create another epic. Assigning yourself and other people, and go from there. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. Yes. Okay. So any questions on the Jira stuff?
I mean, do you use the roadmap or the board, or is everything in backlog?
Yeah, for now, let's just do a backlog because I'm not doing sprints yet. This kind of backlog is kind of like all our tickets, and then eventually we create sprints. But I'm not going to do that. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's not necessarily too late, but I don't want to focus on too many things at a time. I just do a backlog,
Cool.
and keep everything. So backlog is basically all available issues, and then if you did sprints, you would put those backlog issues in a particular sprint. But we'll just leave it all like this for now. But then we also have the epics here. We can put we can categorize, lobby screen, with that. So as you're doing that, you organize it. Okay, cool. Any questions on that part? Okay, so next is, let's look at some our repos. Let me see where that is. here.
Frank, I have a question.
Mhm.
How about the timing of these tickets? Is there any possibility to assign like a deadline to each ticket?
Yeah, that would basically where sprints come in.
Okay.
Like the sprint part, because basically we're kind of sprints are usually like, you know, at the beginning of the week or end of the week, kind of in the middle. If I was here Saturday, well, I could tell Dan to start doing deadlines and do sprints on Saturday. Because I don't want to do it on a Wednesday, so like I like to start at like, because technically we're ending week 4 on Saturday or
Okay.
Sunday, like we're finishing at week 4. So I'll mention to Dan that, you know, I'll do a little more stuff in here in Jira, like probably tomorrow, and organize some more stuff. And he'll come in when he's has some time, maybe Friday and also maybe Saturday, and start and actually like start a sprint. So basically, a sprint is 2 weeks. But if we since we're kind of like the last couple of weeks, we could do 1 week sprints. Let's say some of these tasks have to be done in 1 week, or certain tasks have to be done in 1 week. So we'll have Dan do sprints, which will be attached to deadlines of like a week. If it's something that has to be done in a couple of days, then you know that's something you can work out as well. But we'll start doing with deadlines starting on Saturday.
Okay.
Cool. So as far as like, so again, looking at the back end, the Mongo stuff that you're kind of working on, and let's say you'll be the Mongo person, since we won't be doing a lot of Mongo stuff. Apart from the user schema, can we think of anything else that we need to store permanently in our database?
I don't know if they want. I don't know if you want to store the scores. So.
Yeah. So I guess do we want it once we well, we haven't got to the scoring part in the gameplay yet, but do we want to score? Do you want to store like scores after the game, after each game is over, and store that as part of the user profile?
I don't think for itself, but maybe how many scores you have guessed.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like a count of how many
Okay.
guesses you've taken. Maybe just like your highest score would be something.
Your cumulative high score, maybe, you know, so however many games you do, which is a cumulative high score, like in the old arcade games.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe. Okay. So yeah, so you can add that Boo on for your
Okay.
user schema.
Figure out
Just,
the schema with the high score.
Yeah, highest score. Yeah, cumulative high score. Yeah, so it'll just be updated. Yeah, so whatever it is, you just add to it. So let's say he has 100 already. He plays another game, he gets 50. Now it's 150. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anything else. I think will just be in, you know, temporary storage on the server, right? I don't think. What else would we need that's permanent, other than user profile stuff? You know, login, you know, password and so forth. I can't think of anything that would need to be permanent.
Brand
If it,
you have.
what was that?
What about images or profile image or avatar or something?
Oh yeah, that could be if you want to do that. If we get to that point, we can do a image. So yeah, doing images. I'm trying to think where do we store that? The actual image itself. Would we have that like just predefined images stored on our server, and then the database just, you know, so we just give them options for avatars, and those images are stored in our server somewhere, you know, in some directory, and the Mongo just, you know, says which one, pretty much. So avatar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, in the profile will be avatar 2, and avatar 2 response is like avatar.png, and that's stored in an images folder on our server. You know, maybe just something simple as that, maybe.
That sounds good. I have a question about that actually. I was kind of picturing just having like a folder or like a picture folder inside the app with the pictures in there, but that wouldn't work because the user would have to like pull the app down and clone it, right? Instead of just like playing it on screen. Is that their work?
What do you mean? A images, the user of an images folder. What do you mean?
So like in VS Code, we have a components folder directory, and just we would just have another one with images.
Yeah, so that would so the user would never have access to the app code, the code base itself. It would just be the compiled version. So if they would want to save something, like save, they would have to upload an image, and that image would have to be still stored on the server somewhere. So they would upload whatever image they want. We would give them options to store it, in either in the server directory, or some external third-party host like Google whatever, Google Photos or someplace, Google Storage or somewhere, and they would store images there. And then the database would have so they would be able to upload it to say Google Storage. It's not called Google Storage. Is it Google Photos? Now I'm gonna have to look at it because I know we're using it for some app.
Yeah, Google Photos. I mean, Google Photos is
Google Photo
thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so Google Photos, and then Google Photos. So how it works is the Google Photos returns a URL. That URL will be saved in the Mongo database. So you basically have to go to Google Photos. You would first go to Mongo, get the user profile information, find the URL served in Mongo. That URL would then be done with a dynamic API call to Google Photos, and then pull it down. But we probably won't get to that for MVP. But that's either that way or have like a user, because you don't want to have like a dynamic individual users folder for each user, because you have like 50 users, 100 users, 1,000 users. You want that in external stores. So something like that, we would have to set up like a separate third party like cloud storage and work with that in order to store user information. Yeah. Which we probably wouldn't have time to do it now, but for like just something simple, we could have just like a bunch of sample avatars that would be used for any user. So you have 6 possible ones. All our users would use one of these 6, and then it'd be just stored permanently in an images or some folder on the server, and then they would choose that one, and that the name of that avatar or some identifier will be stored in the Mongo to say, hey, this is what they're using for avatar. This avatar in some backend code would say, okay, if it's this name, we're going for this image. If it's this name, it links to this, and that's it. Something simple.
Gotcha. Okay.
That I think we could do. I think within MVP, if people want to work on that. And that will be nothing to do with the WebSockets. It'd just be part of the user profile, and that'd be part of the user profile page if you log in. So if you log in, I would say you only can have an avatar if you log in. If you just want to play, you cannot have an avatar. So we could have it this way. So if you log in, you have the option of selecting one of possible 5 or whatever avatars. If you don't log in, we give you either a default avatar. I would say a default avatar, and that's the avatar you use if you don't log in. Maybe something like that. So if you want to add that to a ticket and to the user profile screen, you can do that.
Cool. I'm adding it to BP18.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Our repos now. Let's see here. Okay, so front end, we have no PRs. They were already merged already. All the branches then they were looked at least by another person.
Yep.
The profile page version 01, the landing and login page, and the front end merge. They're all merged already, so I'm assuming someone else looked at it, right?
Yeah, definitely. We
Okay.
reviewed each other's code.
Okay, and the back end, cool, no PRs, everything's closed. And those branches are just the repo merge. Okay. So now if anybody wants to pull down dev from the back end and the front end, it'll work fine. No problems with it working.
Nope.
Okay.
I got it working
Um,
just before this meeting. At least.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
I'll say
so-
that it didn't, I didn't test it out entirely though. Maybe someone else
Mhm.
has clicked around
Does-
more.
Does anybody have the latest version of dev of front and back end just to demo to see where we're at so far?
I have the latest version of the front end and the back end version that we kind of created together like 2 days ago or yesterday.
But that should be on dev though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most
Okay.
up to date one.
Okay.
Yeah, can you guys run step by step on how you like kind of run both repos and like get it connected? Because I wasn't really able to get it. So I wanna, you guys can show it real quick.
Yeah, for sure. And just pull everything up here.
And I'm assuming at this point, you're just like running npm start on both repos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think yeah, the whole situation with the separate Mongo folder with a separate set of servers, I think was all straightened out already, right? From the previous branches that were merged in.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
now
from what I
officially
understand.
all your front end people, so everybody now officially is a full stack developer, right? You're all full stack developers, put that on your resume.
Just updated my LinkedIn.
Sweet, sweet.
Wow, that was so
Yes.
cool.
I have to do like a presentation on like LinkedIn 101 on Friday. And so I'll update it and have it included until then and show like my cohort.
Cool. You're doing a LinkedIn presentation where?
Oh, it's in person in SF for my cohort. I wish it was online
Oh,
though,
okay.
so I wouldn't have to commute,
Okay.
but yeah.
Nice. Is that for like a developing like software engineering cohort?
Oh no, it's no. It's like professional development in like any area that you're interested in. I'm like doing data stuff. Other people are doing
Okay.
like paralegal work, and so it's like different for everybody. But
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, so I've got this pulled up here. I just do npm start
Mhm.
for the backend.
okay.
Got the server running, and then yeah, in the dev branch npm and start. And before I do that, let me bring the page over.
Wait, you have to do run start or can you just do npm start?
So
The-
if
the
you
backend
could do
should be
either.
npm run start, I think, right?
The backend I think is just npm start, but I'm not sure actually.
Oh, it's still okay. I wasn't sure it was run start or start.
Yeah, I think npm start
Oh.
just works for me.
That's none of them actually.
Oh, yeah, because yeah, start is the default script name. So I think otherwise you have to put the word run in. I mean, run start will still work, but like if it's anything other than start, I think you have to say like if it's like run dev or run something else. But npm start or npm
Yeah.
run start both should work then. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to use run start because that way you don't have to, like, whenever you make a change to the UI, I guess, you don't have to like reload it. Once you save it, it's going to reload automatically
Oh,
and
for real?
display the changes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
nice trick.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really handy. So
He's
yeah, now
got
I'm
all the
gonna
tricks.
run this side. What was that, Brendan?
I said Caesar's got all the tricks.
They're your tricks now too. I like
Yeah.
sharing those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, totally. It's handy.
So that's how I get it running. Does that sort of like answer your question, Alejandro?
Yeah, I would just, for some reason, I don't know if like something in my house is using port 3000, but it would send me to like port 3001, but then
Yeah.
it wouldn't really work. Like the backend doesn't connect to it. And so I'm kind of trying to figure that out.
Hmm.
It should be, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'll check again right now.
Because the back end, I think, is on what, 8,000 port? I think.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Front end's 3,000, back end's 8,000. You can do a Mac or Windows, Alejandro.
I have a Mac.
Yeah, you can also see if you've any other. I have a Mac too. I never have anything else running on port 3000 now, but you may have another, maybe a React app or something else,
Mm.
or something else. And you can also in your what you call it, in your terminal, in your activity monitor in Mac,
Mhm.
you can
Okay.
like
Oh, I
do
can
a
check that?
search on like the name of the app. So like check for like search for Node, any other Node apps running. And it'll give you all the running services. You can also cancel it, or you can quit them in the activity monitor in Mac.
Oh, you're right.
Caesar,
Yes.
I just have a question. The landing page, is this in your local machine, or you just pushed it on GitHub? Because I don't have it.
Yeah, I pushed it earlier today and I merged it to dev. So if you
Ah.
pull dev,
Let me
yeah.
Yeah, it just happened today. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. No, just do Git.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No problem. So yeah, right now we've like kind of merged some things. I like mostly changed some like use state hooks to sort of
Cool.
capture like the value, but really the login page I haven't integrated with the WebSockets yet. So I can't
Well, yeah.
really
So remember that the
show
login
that.
page won't be integrated with WebSockets. It'll be integrated with Abu's routes and stuff. But eventually, after you log in, so once you log in, so remember, so if you click on Play Now, it goes right to your lobby, right? I'm guessing, yeah. Also, though we should modify that. The Play Now should have a way to enter a username. So where do you enter the username if you click Play Now?
I think I'm working on building that now, I
Okay.
believe. Well, I'm
Okay.
working on using Mauricio's code and kind of combining it with that game lobby screen you see there.
Okay. All right. But yeah, but so far you have no way of creating a username. I don't feel.
Not yet. I think I was also thinking of just like assigning a random one, but we could also add that too. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I would just say
sorry. Go ahead.
I would say you should give them an ability. I mean, again, you could think about from a design point of view, but like if they say Play Now, then basically they should say it could just do a simple modal and just say what's your username, or as a separate screen, or as part of the same screen. Just have a little input field, say Play Now username or login username and password. Plus you need a register too. But however you want to design that, whether it's same screen, separate screens, just have like a modal for one or the other, however you decide you want to do that, but there should be a username for the Play Now because there's a username for the login.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Make a note of that.
Yeah, because it'll still have to bring you to some version of the
So
game.
either way, like, yeah,
right?
I didn't get just to get to yet. Either way, it goes to the lobby. So as
Okay.
long as the username
Mhm.
and password are authenticated successfully, it'll go to the lobby. If you say play now, it goes to the lobby. They both go to the lobby. The only thing difference is if you authenticate, when you go to this lobby, it should give you like a menu somewhere. It says user profile, like maybe at the top right-hand corner, like a little menu link. And you can click on that, like a drop down, right? You go, oh, I can see my user stats or whatever the hell we want to display in there. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That's a good point.
And then, so the select number of rounds, we take that out because the rounds are now determined by how many players. So we don't need that anymore.
Yeah, this is all old. It hasn't
Yeah,
been
max
updated
number of
basically.
players, we're taking that out. It's going to be 3 minimum, 10 maximum. So we'll take that out again too. And the image for your room, we don't want that either. We don't probably have time for that. So it basically just be like, create your room. We're gonna make it
Create
simple
room.
for now.
Gotcha. Okay, and they're not even gonna select the number of players, right? Is that what we just said?
Nope. It'll just be showing all available rooms, and it'll show create your, or create a room. That's all they're gonna have there. Mhm.
Okay.
And then if we wanted to, we could have it like, you can see each room and see like the players in each room, like the player usernames. If you want to do something like that, maybe on how you're gonna display that, you could do that instead, or as an option, that's up to you. Because you're like, oh, I want to go to a room, but I want to see who's playing. Not that they would know anyway, but just as as an example.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And then is this playable if we actually join a room or no?
No, so that's the one component we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay, so that's on your list. Okay,
I
good.
got it. Yeah, I feel like I'm almost there, but I can't get it to quite work. So
Okay, so you'll have to work with Mauricio or Hanjo, who worked on the socket stuff to get that working.
yeah, it might just be a small thing. Yeah, but somebody maybe.
So yeah, the actual gameplay, the actual game screen, that's going to be where all the socket stuff lives, or at least lives off of. Meaning you'll have maybe some components off of that, but that's where you'll have a route that's going to like a game screen route, which is going to have your game screen container component, and then have a bunch of probably child components off of that, like a child component for the chat, a child component for displaying the phrase, a child component for displaying all your users, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Okay. So obviously a ton of work to do. And then as part of also those screens, either the same person or a different person. But again, you're gonna have to work as a team, so you can't, individually do it. You'll be responsible for styling this. If you want to keep with just vanilla CSS styling, by all means, or if you want to, take a chance and work it and use, some of the component libraries, if you feel you have enough time to work with those to make the styling, at least for the form fields and some of the main kind of general components kind of pre-styled. Again, that's up to you too, if you want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe once we get it working on the front end, we can stick our heads together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's up to you if you want to, probably styling will be done last. But yeah, that's a when you're out on your choices. Yeah. Form fields are always ugly. It's hard to style them, vanilla. So again, that's why they have component libraries. But again, adding component libraries always adds a little extra level of complexity of how do I populate this versus do I populate a regular native form field, and all those, it's going to add more time to figuring things out. So again, you wanted just some clean styling, for starters, like padding and margin, just clean, some nice fonts, you know, et cetera, some nice little layout without anything else. And then, okay, if I have time, let me add a component library so all my drop downs look sharp. All my this looks nice and all the same, and looks a little better than what I could do, just with some vanilla, vanilla CSS.
Okay.
Okay. Any other things or questions or you want to discuss?
That tip helped Frank. Now it actually works. No errors.
Okay. So is everybody cool with assigning themselves to one or more tasks in Jira? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
So far, it's good. Yeah.
Hey, Frank, I have a question. Like
Mhm.
right now, when we are working in the backends, it's kind of for check if it's working. We also need to modify sometimes the front end. So
Right.
it's okay.
Yeah. So for some, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was that last part?
It's okay if we create a branch with the same name. I don't know. For example, I assign it the task BP16 and track of the user.
Okay,
wins.
so if you're so if you're working on a back end task and you need a front end piece to work with it, is it okay for you to create a branch on the front end as well and then have that
Yes.
merged? Yeah, I guess it's good. It's a good point. I guess you're going to have to, because sometimes you're not going to have time to wait for the front end team to get that part working or work all together. So you just have to be cognizant of like, you're going to have merge conflicts then. Like you absolutely will, because you're updating probably a front end component, unless it's something new, but you're probably updating a front end component that someone else is already working on for something else. So you're probably going to have merge conflicts with that, which is fine, but you're going to have to work with the front end team on making sure, okay, well, keep this, and this is why it's here, and it should be pretty self-explanatory, but you'll definitely have to figure out, hey, I did a branch for this. Here are the changes. Whoever is using this, you're going to get a merge conflict because you're going to have to pull this down first before you push your branch up. So it'll be about timing. It'll be about communication. Yeah.
Great.
Good. Excellent question. Yeah.
Just to build on, someone else can say something.
No, go ahead, Brendan. After you, I'll ask something.
No, I've been talking more, please.
Okay. Now, actually, I'm currently in the back end repo, and then I see since the beginning some files, and I wonder why these files are there and what are they used for. If you go to the controllers,
files? You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can share the screen, my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go to. If you go to the controllers folder and you'll see main controller. So I'm wondering why this file is there. What is?
Oh yeah, that was just a placeholder controller. You don't have to have that, or you can rewrite it or whatever you want. That was a.
Oh, okay. I
code.
can change the name of the file and then change the.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank
you. Yep. Sure. Okay. Any other questions or anything?
Yeah, I was gonna throw one on top of Mauricio's just to. I mean, I guess it's hard to understand how it'll play out exactly. The question you were asking, Mauricio. I feel like because we did sockets and not just like the standard React plus Node.js or whatever, I feel like there's a little less for us to do. So if there's a chance that it's going to be maybe a little involved and there's time to check with the front end team. I personally would benefit from the experience of trying to build some more. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know how the other front end folks feel. I know we don't have tons of time, but just if there is time to like check in and say it would need to be done by this date, and if you can do it, maybe we can work together. And if not, I'll take a stab or something. It's just floating that possibility. I don't know what others think.
This week it's gonna be a little bit more harder for me because I'm in my week of work. Unless you wanna do it after 12 p.m. That from that point until 6 a.m. I'm with a lot of time here in my work. But also I use data mobile, so I'm also with that limitation. Like at some point I can not have more data mobile to connect during the week.
Sorry, I missed a little bit of that. It's a little hard to hear you at the end.
From
About
what I can
mobile?
tell, what Mauricio was saying, if I could just interject, seems like Mauricio's available times are like 12 p.m. and later your time. So based upon his work schedule.
12 a.m.
So
maybe he means.
12 p.m. your time. So his work schedule pushes him into kind of some late hours for availability. So that's why he was saying, because like of his work schedule, and also he isn't always on a good internet to work in a team occasionally sometimes. I think that was what you're saying, Mauricio.
Yes, he says in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think it's also because of his work schedule is kind of a little crazy. He doesn't have a lot of time to work sometimes in a group as far as pair programming all the time. I think his schedule kind of is like an off and on, like it's like 1 week he's good, 1 week he's totally crazy busy, that kind of thing too, I think. But yeah, like you can also look at it after the fact too. Like he'll create something on the front end. He'll say, hey, I worked on this branch to make it work for my front end. You're gonna have to pull down what I did, and then at that point you can review it and make some tweaks, maybe from a styling or other structure point of view as well. So whatever Mauricio does on the front end, he'll communicate to everybody else, and they'll have to pull down what he did, to wherever you're working on, because it may have some possible merge conflicts.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm just saying that basically most of what I've been doing is adapting the backend's code. And if there's an opportunity that he can wait a day or two and try to check in, I would appreciate that. I just don't feel like I'm getting as much chance to practice, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't know if the other front end folks, if they may feel differently.
Sorry, Brendan, I don't know if I missed a little part there. Just to clarify, are you asking like for us to get together with the backend just to understand the backend more?
No,
Or to
no.
wait
Mauricio was saying if he creates like a new function that has front end needs that need to be edited on the front end, or something needs to be built on the front end to work with whatever he's doing on the back end, that he was kind of asking how we should approach that. And so that's what I was responded to, that it'd be nice if there was an opportunity for us to have maybe a day or two gap to be able to have the opportunity to work on it ourselves, or pair program or something. But if it's not possible, it's not possible. I just want to get as much out of this as I can. And I know I need the practice, that's all.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to know as well if it's possible. Like I think it's like a case by case thing. Like if we can do it, like I would be down to do it, we should. If if it works out that way.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. Any other comments or questions? Alrighty, so I guess we can call it a day or call it an evening. So meeting will be same time on Saturday with Dan. He'll probably continue to work with Jira, work with any tickets, any clarification, or you want to demo or questions about. And also I'll mention to him about starting up a sprint. We'll do like weekly sprints. So we have like, maybe more kind of soft, hard deadlines for some of these things. So we know we can get, certain things done, with basically 3 weeks or less time we have left. This we're wrapping up on week 4 now. So by Saturday, Sunday, we'll be starting week 5. So we'll have like 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 8. So we really are going to get close to only 3 weeks left at most. So that's why we're kind of have to like, add those deadlines and kind of like get that minimum functionality kind of, working smoothly.
I have a question. When is our
Mm-hmm.
deadline?
For the overall project?
Yeah.
If you look in this note spreadsheet, and if you go to the schedule tab, you'll see all the dates. So May 9th is our presentation. Our last week is technically May 5th, and everything else in between.
Okay, May 9th, May 5th. So there's April 20th. I don't know if I mentioned this to everyone. I'm completely not going to be available for any work on the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 27th, and the 28th. And that's close to a deadline.
Okay.
But I'll do everything that I can, even jump in pair program or whatever, help out with work between now and then.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, so again, looking at our schedule, May 9th, Tuesday at 12 p.m. So again, we have time, but who here thinks they can be part of the presentation on May 9th, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern? Alejandro says he's good. Brendan says he's good.
I think so.
Caesar
You said
says
what?
he's good.
What time was it, Frank?
Anybody
I
else?
believe, yeah, I could make that Tuesday.
Okay.
I can be available that day. And I'll be working, but I can take that day off.
Okay. Mauricio. So, everybody then. Okay. So yeah, cool. I was just making. I mean, we got time, but just seeing who could be, who couldn't. But it seems like everybody can be. So that's cool. No worries there then. Sweet. All right. So you all have your tasks. You'll have your Jira board. You can update and change around everything else, and put in, what you want to work on, and then just schedule huddles accordingly before our Saturday meeting. Okay. If that is all, then have a great evening, everyone.